Aloha.
Hi. Okay, let's see. Do I have the audios? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, awesome. Welcome to UI Mondays, everyone. Whew, okay, so I'm here now with Kathryn, and we were hoping to talk about Flexbox versus Grid. That could be fun.
Yeah.
Let's see. Can I just collapse this side panel since it's useless to me? No, I can't. Okay.
Oh no, that's permanent.
Yes, I'm pulling up the chatty chats. Napalm Grid, 1000 times grid.
Mm.
So named grids too. I am a Flexbox person, so not that you have to be one or the other, but
I was gonna say
I,
that's my hot take is they're different tools for different things, and I will use them both. And I don't have a favorite child.
see, my way is like, I'm pretty sure I can hackily do everything with Flexbox, so why like actually make myself learn the grid? But it's I know it's not proper. I think
Wait.
off camera I asked Kathryn, "Is this a crime?" And she was just dying.
It was. It was. But yeah, no, there's a really good comment in the chat from Duke over there who says, my 2 cents and personal opinion real quick before I go. Flex is for one-dimensional stuff. Grids are for complex layouts. It's
Hmm.
like, yes. We will get into it today for sure. But I want you to know before you leave, I agree with you, Duke.
All right, let me see. I'm making sure I'm not still in any other StreamYards because that would be super awkward. Okay, so I wanted to show off your resource. Can I? I'm gonna. Do you know if I can post links? I don't think it blocks links. I'm gonna try see if it blocks it. Yeah, I think it's YouTube that blocks links sometimes.
Yeah, no, I see it in the chat.
Okay,
So.
cool, awesome, perfect. So yes, this was Kathryn was saying her go-to resource for whenever you're like, I need a complex grid.
Yes. I love Rachel Andrew, I think, is like just one of the coolest developers out there. I love everything that she does. I think she's brilliant and talented. This is her site, Grid by Example. And she has got a bunch of like great starter layouts and like examples of different ways that you might commonly format a grid. Um, so this is always my go-to if I know I'm going to be creating a grid that's a little bit more than just your average like exactly equal sized panels in a normal layout. Grid by Example.
I love it. And it really does have quite a few like complex examples, and something I clicked on, I think just the first one, and opened it up, which is brilliant because it's like right here. The codes, you can see it. I feel like I should have a side by side like that. There we go. So who was it that was saying named grids? Was it Napalm? I think it was
Yeah.
Napalm. Kevin said, awesome. Always appreciate additional resources. I know. I was excited to see that too because I usually pull up this resource.
Which is also super good.
This one's
Yeah.
his Flexbox guide, but I also have the word grid guide. Which, speaking of which, we don't want that. We don't want that view.
Television.
I had Meryl purchase. I think it might still be advertised at the bottom. Maybe not. Maybe if I full screen it. There's posters. Here they are. Buy the poster. I had her purchase some posters as like swag that we could give away. And so I know that we still, Kathryn, have Flexbox and grid posters just kind of ready to mail people. So I don't know if maybe I think it's especially appropriate today. Maybe if we have some particularly witty chatters or something, we could give one away. That'd be fun.
So. I love giving things away. It makes me feel like Oprah.
Excellent. Okay, so we're gonna give at least one poster away today. I know we're probably only gonna stream like for an hour. So I don't know if you want to give it to like the most witty chatter, or if you just want to like decide at the end, like we really thought this person brightened our chat. I'm not sure how you want to do it, but
we'll have to see. We could also be completely objective and do like a random draw.
So. I like that. I think the hard part with a random draw we need a
Yeah,
way
I
of
mean, put everyone.
gathering. We need a way of gathering people's details to do that. So I could whip up a like a Google form real quick or something.
Oh, that's
Or
not a bad idea.
let's see here. All right, I'm gonna stop screen sharing. I'll let you screen share while, because me creating a Google form probably is not the most exciting content people have seen all day.
Folks in the chat are really one-upping themselves. There's the combination of just like, yes, I need it from some people, and then like really good, like on topic comments. Duke again with the like, Grid is great for responsive, mobile friendly tables. We make use of that all the time, displaying a table on bigger screens, a normal table, and then a smaller devices, the table turns vertical, headers on the left side, content on the right. Like, just a really good paragraph of like how they use Grid. And then a joke
Oh, there's a joke?
yeah, it says, I had stains on my teeth, and my dentist asked, "Do you smoke or drink coffee?" And I told them I drank it.
Well,
Excellent.
yeah.
So, yes. Yes to all of the comments, all over the map. Oh, hey, Fritz in the chat. C# Fritz.
Hi. Good to
Tell
see
me Obi-Wan,
you.
Alyssa. You're the only hope.
Email. Okay, I need. This is like me stumbling. We're gonna do a forms episode. Kathryn and I already decided at some point, and this is me stumbling my way through a form. Date, time. I'm just trying to see if they have a validation for an email. I don't think so. I think it has a short answer, unless you know. I'm just gonna make it short answer.
Sorry,
Okay.
I was fully distracted because the chats are happening on one side of the screen and you were talking, and in return I was reading nothing and also hearing nothing. So just existing. It was like the Wii music in my head. Just,
Oh, I need to hear it. Can you do the little
I
ditty
don't
so
think
I
I
can?
can do it.
You don't
I,
Why?
I refuse. I refuse to be caught.
Okay, I got a Google form, I think. I don't know. Chat can tell me if it's Wonka doodles, but here's a Google form. If you want to win a Flexbox or CSS Grid poster, plop your link, your email my way.
Can we do one of each, Alyssa?
Yeah.
Can we give one Flex and one Grid? So
I like it. So yes, if you give me your email, we'll do a drawing and I'll see the table of recipients, and we'll do a drawing at the end. And I will email out our lucky winners to get your address so we can ship a poster to you, and maybe some other swag. I don't know, I'll have her throw in some Kendo UI swag.
yes.
But okay, so I wanted to. I'm gonna reshare again, and we're gonna get the womps for a second. Okay. So this, I wanted to go ahead and talk about. Hey, doggy. My pup just came in from the out. He likes to go and sit in the backyard and just stare, and it kind of freaks me out a little bit because it's like hours of staring. I don't.
Hate to
Is that
interrupt.
normal?
Seems like people are having some difficulty accessing your form, so you might want to check the sharing permission.
Let us check the sharing. Sharing. Ooh, response validation. Ooh. Okay, get rid of that. I don't know. Let's see here.
Settings. In the middle. Here it says
Settings.
Question response settings.
Make this a quiz, responses, presentations, defaults. Maybe it's because I haven't saved it. No. I got it because I clicked on the preview button and then I just copied the link, but maybe that's like horribly inaccurate.
Yeah, is there something in the top right corner for sharing?
Redo, undo, preview, customize the theme, send. Hi, there's a send.
There we go.
Copy the link, shorten the URL, copy that, and
give that a shot. Yeah.
I was trying to see if there was like a you need to like allow people to fill it out. Let me know if that works. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's still a no.
No? Oh, for the love of Google. Hey, I would refresh it. Shorten, send. Can you do it? Can you click it? Include form in emails. I don't know where permissions are. Please feel free to help me debug
It
this
does
chat.
seem like it feels like it should be fair.
I'm gonna not shorten it.
Napalm says he'll just take the swag and save you the trouble.
That might have to be how
How
it works.
generous.
I don't really understand why this isn't working. I have no idea. This move to folder, star it. That's not going to help us.
Here,
That's an escape hatch.
why don't you take over the screen sharing because you've got all of the grid stuff pulled up, and I will take over the Google forming.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So what I was going to do was talk a little bit about the flexi bits. So here is the grid example, which is the first one. Oops, that's not what we want. It's the first one that she created, the beautiful Rachel Andrews. It's a very intimidating developer for me personally. Like, she's a fellow GDE and I've met her on a couple occasions and she's like awesome, but I don't know, just like knowing the knowledge that her brain contains, it kind of makes me like,
I know. I'm in awe. For real.
Do you? Because I feel like you have the same amount of knowledge.
Oh no. Absolutely not. I would be I want to feel this like horribly embarrassing when you like meet somebody who's just like hello. It would be awful. Just absolute panic to meet these people in person.
I just kind of get really, really bug-eyed. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I am going to, for some of these, because I think something we wanted to talk about was the use cases, and I think chat already hit on this, of the differences between Flexbox and Grid. So here is this code pin for hers, and what I'm going to do is fork it with the fork button, and I want to keep hers pulled up. And I think we should basically redo this example. Excuse me. 1 second. 1 second, fam. I'm actually getting a little claustrophobic with all these.
Oop. And we lost her. That was fun. For those of you that are a little bit late, I see that in the chat. We are talking about grid versus flex today. We are struggling to stay
Do you ever
online
just like
and together.
Do you ever just click the like collapse all button and then you're like, wait, I'm on stream. I can't collapse all. Okay. So here is defining a grid. And I'm also going to pull up her original doc. That one.
And I dropped a form in the chat where you can enter.
Yay! Does it work? Did you figure out what I was doing wrong? Did you find the...
I don't know exactly what you're doing wrong. I think this one works because I tested it in the incognito mode before I threw it in the chat. Okay. But I'm confident the chat will correct us if it's wrong.
But yeah, you don't know. There wasn't like some sort of enable anyone to look at this button?
I'm not sure like what was not jiving on your end, but it seems to be jiving on our end, my end. Yeah. So we'll take it. That's all we need. That's why there's two of us. So. Only one of us has to do something.
Robert Table said, "You did it!" Excellent.
Yes.
Okay.
Is that a Bobby Tables joke from XKCD? Your username, Robert Tables. Is that a little Bobby Tables thing?
Wait, I thought that was your real last name. Wait, is it a joke? Is that not your real name, Robert? Who are you? Okay, forking this, and I need to save this as defining a grid. Grid. Turned flex is what I'm going to name this. So whenever this is a wrapper around multiple divs, A, B, C, D, and they are labeled as such with classes. And the wrapper itself has a display of grid. And this, I am assuming, is like the most basic grid of grids. Although I thought there was like an even simpler way of defining grid. Like, Kathryn, could we comment these out and still have success? I think this one's needed. I think this last one's needed.
I mean, certainly you could get rid of background color and the color,
Yeah. Well, and I
Grid
don't even
gap,
think gap is necessarily,
it's just
but
defining the
here,
space between each square. So you can get rid of it or leave it depending on how you want it to look.
do you know if this is proper or if it should be, because isn't gap a thing now? Where you can say for either like flex or grid, you can just say gap. I thought that was
Ooh,
no.
I'm
Can
not
I
sure.
use .com? Can I use it? Where is it? Gappy gappy gap. Okay. Gap property for Flexbox. CSS. These look like the individual ones. Flex layout. I always suck at finding the right one. So this just says gap for Flexbox containers, straight gaps and gutters. But it's also like working, and I would love to know if Chad has anything to say on this because it works for both, as you can see. I just got rid of it. So I thought that was the new hotness, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I've just been abusing it. Okay.
If it works, it works. I think that's all that
okay.
you need to worry about.
So this is the most simple grid. Grid template columns. This stresses me out. We're saying we have 3 columns. If I get rid of one of them, I'm going to think that it turns to 2. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay, I suppose, but here's how I would do it. We're going to turn it flex just to show you what's going to happen. So we're going to talk to our wrapper and say display flex and actually spell it properly. And then I'm going to say flex wrap. I want it to wrap as it was wrapping. And I'm also going to give it a max width to force the wrap. 40 pixels. That's going to be way too small. 80? 200? I never know. I'm really bad at widths. Was it 10? It was 10. And then throw that gap back on there. We're kind of close-ish. It might be a little too skinny. Maybe 250. That's proper. So this.
Yeah, but if you set a width on your box, you'd get the same effect, right?
What were they? Let's see. That's the thing I'm a little. So this 100 pixels is giving the column width, which is essentially setting the box's width, right? So we can say, boop, boop, width on our box. Give our box a width. It doesn't look right, though. Hang on, let me think. I'm going to bring back real quick. You gotta love the comments and comments. So unhappy. I'm gonna get rid of the max width, comment out our flexy bits, and we're gonna bring back our gritty bits. And I want to see what display grid. I want to see what they look like without. So we have a screenshot. So I guess it is the same, right? I thought the letters were centered for some reason. They're not, right? Okay. Do you know how to do that in grid? Because I know for flex, you've got like align items and justify content to center things on both axes. Axi? That's not a word. Do you know what happens here? Because this should overwrite this, right? So it should.
Right. Yes.
Whee! Okay. Yeah, so it looks identical. Now we should be able to turn this on and off. Well, it's unfortunately you have to do this bit too. Let's do. Okay. But yeah. And it should flow. That's the other thing though, I think about grid.
This one doesn't flow, the example that you've chosen, but there are ways to use the grid so that it will reflow. It's just that this is the like basic example.
Where was the one? Did you have examples? Is that what you linked to? Line-based placement. I want my grid to flow. Anybody know how to do it? I want to see. Let's see here. Grid flow. That feels like it's not going to give me what I want. Grid auto flow? Shut up. Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Shut up? No. Okay, let's try it. I don't know. It sounds scary. Kathryn's not afraid. Auto.
Oh, what are we gonna break? We're gonna break this example.
You're saying there's not a big consequence to
no, I've broken way more important things in production. Let's break this.
What? Okay, hang on. I mean, I did not read it. Grid auto flow. Css technically controls how auto placement algorithm works. Oh, that does not. Okay. Kathryn, any thoughts? I was thinking of also pulling up maybe one of her other examples and just seeing if it flows and then seeing what the code says. Can I can I do it within here? Is that gonna no, it only goes
Okay, opening. Small. Let me try pulling her stuff up.
No. Okay. See, like this is the thing. And chat, for those unfamiliar, XKCTC relevant. Oh my gosh, yes. I love these comics. My husband loves them more than me. He all the time is sending. He's like, "Did you see this one?"
That's the Bobby tables. When you were like, "Wait, that's a joke?" I was like, "Yes."
Okay, can you just have a real quick rant for this real quick? Like for this layout that everyone wants to enforce. We're guilty of it. Have you seen our blogs? Have you seen our blogs? I'm just gonna leave it there. But no, these sites drive me crazy because I want to live here. Okay. Like, and I don't necessarily want to live here. Okay, here we go.
I don't think the XKCD thing has updated since like the day it was.
Are you saying we love it? It's
I think it's beautiful, classic. And I don't think it's changed since like whatever 2006.
Hi, this is your son's school. We're having some computer trouble. Oh dear, did he break something? In a way, did you really name your son Robert? Sad face, drop table students. Oh yes, little Bobby tables, we call it. We've lost this year's student records. Excellent. Okay, I was doing something productive. Right. So in my mind, Flex is super easy to understand because if I want a row, I just say, I'm going to actually comment out this real quick so I can talk about it.
Grid,
you can just say display
grid is flex. Harder. Like no two ways about it. But grid, I would also say, is more powerful. So I dropped something in the chat for you in the private chat in our StreamYard. Our good friend Square and his CSS tricks link to look at responsive layouts with the grid because it is possible.
I am going to pull it up on the code pen and we are going to test it out with our squishy squishies. Okay. I see it. Do you all see it? I see it happening. This is like, look, I'm 2 columns. And then it's like, look, I'm 1 column, which I've done this many times with Flex where I say, hey, at this width, which he's talking about with no media queries. So let's check it out. No JavaScript. We don't need you.
Isn't that such a good feeling?
It really is. It really is. I'm like, just scooch yourself. All right.
We don't need you.
I know you're lonely. Yeah. Be lonely down there. Right. Like,
yeah. But yeah, I think for me, the difference is just Flex was a little bit older. So we had a few years where there was only Flex and we learned how to do everything in just Flex. And it's a little bit more limited. Like it's not as customizable. So once you got it, you kind of got it. And then it was our go-to for everything for like, what was it, like 3 to 5 years before Grid dropped? And then Grid dropped and it was awesome, but it was complex. And there's like 20 million ways to configure Grid. And they are awesome. And I'm glad they're there. And I don't have them memorized. Like, just straight up. So
Robert said, I only know Flex. I wasn't doing a ton of UI work when Grid dropped. I just don't know a dang thing about it. Yeah. So this to me feels like cheating, Kathryn. I don't know if you see this. Well, because his article is all about how we're doing it without media queries, but this kind of feels like a gritty version of a media query. Because, min max 320. What? Yeah. It's like, okay, I see how you did it. It's not a lie, right? Technically, there's no media query.
I mean, it's the same as using what is it, like clamp for anything? I mean, it's the same CSS stuff that lets you do that. You could set min and max on anything now without media queries if you want to. Like you're making a face like you think I'm not talking
No,
like I'm
it's
not
because
making
I
sense.
keep seeing grid gap everywhere, and I'm like,
Oh,
am I smoking
you're
something?
still on
Like,
Gap or Grid Gap.
so I need to know, like, am I allowed to just use Gap, or is it breaking on half the browsers? Okay. Here we go. Let's go back to our basic example. Line based. No, not you. This one. So yes, as flex, of course, when it's display flex, it defaults to row and it flows and it's so much fun. So trying to get this in grid is what I want to do. I don't know why I've chosen this fun tidbit to hang my hat on, but it's what I want to try. So we have our grid. We have grid template columns defined for 3 of them that are 100 pixels bigly. Our gap and grid flow. So I tried this grid auto flow. It didn't work. I'm getting rid of it. This is what I don't actually think that's the thing that makes it flowy. This is the thing that makes it at a certain width do something different, which it did do, but I don't think I need that, right? I need the bit that's saying
they're all kind of
is it
woven
auto fit?
together with
You think
grid.
it's this piece?
Yeah. So what's going on in my understanding of grid, which could be wrong, so feel free to interrupt. But my understanding is that it's all kind of woven together. So if you're doing like when we looked at the example, it's setting like 100, 100, 100. Like there's going to be 3 columns no matter what. It's not responsive in the same way because we've told it exactly 3 columns and you're done. Whereas if we use something the way this one is defined, it's saying like repeat, just like create as many columns as you need, auto fit the content within these boundaries, right? So like create as many columns as need to happen as long as they're at least 320 pixels on the small end and no bigger than 1 fraction is what the FR is. So it's saying like make evenly divide them.
Oh, do you see this? Are you seeing this? Are you witnessing the greatness?
It's looking sharp.
You might
And
have
to
just
answer your
changed my
earlier
mind about
question,
grid because watch. They're really like it goes to 1 column,
yeah.
no media queries. Wow.
So the fraction unit is like one of my favorite things about new CSS. Like I
Seriously?
think
Seriously?
what like that's my favorite. I think it's so
Like, do you
cool.
want to convince me why it's a good thing? It just kind of makes me go, ugh, another
Yeah.
unit. And then I move on with my
Oh
day.
no.
So tell me.
Like that just means that you have not had enough clients that want you to divide things into 3 column layouts. Because if you've ever had to try and write that like 3.333 repeating deal in CSS, you're like,
Uh-huh.
just let me jump off a bridge and be done with it.
Yeah,
Like,
when you said that, I was like 33, just do
33.
33.
Yeah, right? But that's not exactly even, is it? And then
Oh, for heaven's
you have to deal
sake,
with
do you actually have a client that's going, that's not 33.3 repeating indefinitely, so
no,
it's
then you're just
not
dealing with like the weird gappy things in the middle. You gotta make it look they don't know exactly the difference between 33 and 0.33 repeating, but
okay,
you
thank
can feel it
God.
when you look at the page
Thank God.
and
Yes.
the padding and the layout doesn't look even. And
Robert
Robert says
said, "Oh,
he's had
I've had
that
that
client.
client." And
It's
also
someone to
welcome to
know
our
just enough
first
to be
time
dangerous, so they'd
chatter.
look in your code.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, and then also, did you see what Robert said earlier that was cracking me up? He said, use gaps. Use gap. The cops can't even stop you. And I was
That
like,
is
oh my
exactly
gosh.
what I said. She she was like, she goes, "Is that illegal?" And I was like, "No one's arrested me yet." So,
Is that I know, but you all know there are crimes against UI. You
also,
know,
I
like,
looked it up. I looked up grid and grid gap because I was so curious, and
oh
the
my God.
actual MDN web docs have it written as gap parentheses grid gap. So they are the same. They're identical.
But it
It doesn't
also
matter.
works for Flex.
No, there is just grid gap and gap. They're the same property. There is no difference. There's just 2 ways of writing the same thing.
Right, but wasn't Flex Gap a thing at one point, and now it's not because we can just say gap?
Could be.
No?
I don't know 100% on that. All
Well,
I
I
can
know
tell
that
you
I
is
know it does work. Like if I uncomment this, you'll see the gorgeousness with the gappy gaps.
gap and grid gap. Gap. Yeah. There needs to be a game version called Crimes Against UI.
Oh my god, I love it. I'm making a note. And we should
That would
make
be
this a
fun.
thing for sure.
It's like
Well, because I have like
the
a dark patterns talk, so it's kind of like that, you know, where it's like, you have sinned.
I want like a Cards Against Humanity game, but like
Mm.
Cards Against UI.
Oh, I love it. Writing that down. Can you repost the I guess I can if I can find it. There is it. I'm going to repost the forms link for you
Oh
beautiful
yeah.
people. For anyone who's recently joined, we are doing a giveaway of 2, not 1, but 2 CSS Flexbox or grid posters. And I'm actually going to CSS Flexbox. I'm going to pull up the poster so you can see what we're talking about. But it's from CSS Tricks. And I had Meryl grab a couple. She's in charge of all the swaggy bits. So we've got some to give out. So if you give us your email at the end of the show, we're going to do a random drawing and you might be one. We'll reach out via email to get your address. But yes, please fill out the link. Okay. So I might have just been won over to Grid for the first time ever with this absolute gorgeous line. I'd like to break it down though with you, if you don't mind, a little bit further.
Absolutely. Let's
Okay,
hear.
so grid templates, columns. This part confuses me a little bit because I'm like, you can put something else here. Like, can't you say this as well or something? And then it's a thing,
Yes.
or is that, oh God.
Yeah. So the thing that is both incredible about Grid and that makes it so much more complex is that you're not just moving in one direction. So like Flex is really great. I use Flex all the time when I want to talk about things just going in like one way, either going, horizontal left to right or flexing up and down. So either one row or one column. Grid combines all of that into one thing. So you're dealing with code that's handling multiple rows and multiple columns and the ways that those interact. So naturally it gets like a little bit tougher. So you can
Have you ever used grid template rows? Because I feel like I see grid template columns all the time, but I'm trying to think of a use case for actually using that call out. Like grid
I think
template, like what would we even
trying
be
to
doing?
remember. I'm trying to remember if I used it in the Kendo demo because I used Grid to lay out the like frame for the LCAR's menu system. And I might have used
Okay, so that's what's
rows.
going on.
I don't know.
Because whenever I uncomment this line, whenever we were doing this, and I was this
Yeah.
big, it's not doing it now. Why aren't you doing it now? Let's try adding a 0.
So
Oh, it's because it's columns. I'm a goofer. Okay. So if we do this and we saw that A was a little bit bigger, it's because it's only applying to the first row. But we have repeat on, so shouldn't it repeat as many rows as we have? I think this is the funky part. I think I might be using something that's for columns only and trying to make it work for rows. Because if we go and try to define grid template rows and we say 500 and 100, you see the first row is very,
Right.
very large and then 100. Okay, I need to look into grid template rows because I don't.
Yeah, what I would say is that when I get into that sort of fix, I'm all about the dev tools because dev tools has come a long way in showing you what the actual grid looks like. So you can right click inspect and then like pull up the actual grid structure, and then debug from there. So if you do like, where are your like elements? Oh, they must not
These
be.
right here, these divs, the divs, these.
Yeah, see how you get that little grid button? Like yeah, there you go. And now you get like you can see each row and column breakdown. So if you were to change that property in your CSS, we could see what was happening that was making that one bigger than the others.
Change what
Probably.
property? Oh, change this back to rows.
Yeah.
Rows, make it a row. Okay. Stop that. So our
Yeah,
first one,
oh, it's because it wasn't 100 pixels high before, right? Like, we were looking at rows and it wasn't 100 and we gave it a minimum.
right? No, right. And I get
So,
that we are now giving it 100 and the first one is listening, but that's the part that I don't get. We have it on repeat. So I guess I would have assumed for as many rows as there are, it would make them all 100. So that's where I was like, maybe I'm using a column-y thing where I shouldn't be. Let's
no,
see.
grid template rows is definitely a thing.
Is it? Okay.
Yes.
You are not helpful. I will show you later. This is the next thing I wanted to talk about. So chat, if you have anything to add to the rows conversation that we were just on, I really want to talk about pulling pieces aside or making,
Yeah.
because I mean, Kathryn and I were talking about it ahead of time. This could definitely be make it large and in charge. This could definitely be done with Flex. You just need different wrappers, right? So this is going to be a Flexbox column, whereas this is going to be, well, would you need 3? Because this one's going to be a row for sure.
Yeah, I guess it
This one we
depends on
could probably make just
whether you wanted like A to autoflow, right? If you wanted A, C, and D to like naturally flow if the screen was wider. If you
Mhm,
wanted C and D to each always be 50%, I would wrap those in their own flex thing.
mhm,
But
mhm. So this, yeah, the Robert Tables was saying you can do this with Grid. Yeah, I think this is the point of Grid
I
because I
feel like
think
that's constantly my reaction with grid though. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
no, yeah, I
Like, can do that? Yes.
well, I feel like more complex examples like this is why Grid came into existence because most people, like, if you just need like a responsive row, you
Right.
know.
You can do that with flex.
Mhm. But yeah, Robert was saying that it's like the old aside where you say
Yes.
old, I still see him around a lot. I don't know. Whoops. All right, let's see what's happening here. So same setup. I love that. Markup didn't change. I have new notifications. No, thank you. Okay. So our wrapper has display grid. We have the gap that we always know and love. Oh, then it gets spicy. I kind of want to throw up a
Yeah.
little bit. This makes me sick. It is so
No.
powerful, but
It's
also
so powerful.
okay, here we go.
I Yeah. I understand that it's, like, less flexible. So, like, if you wanted to do that kind of, like, natural reflowing auto thing that we were doing before, you can't do that if you're specifying, like, column starts and, like, row starts for each of your pieces. But when you have something that you do need to look, like, exactly the same and, like, it has a little bit of, like, give and flex to it, but not necessarily, like, reflowing, this man.
This
This is the stuff. This is the good stuff.
I need to save. How do we save? Can I say save? No. Yes. No. There it goes.
Yeah,
I was
you
like,
should
it
be able
should
to, like,
fork. Okay.
fork it basically.
Awesome. Saved it. So here's what I want to talk about. Like this is why grid template columns kind of feels overwhelming because it takes so many different types of parameters. And so this, I want to actually open up our inspector because I think that will help us understand these call outs a little bit. And can I make the font
Definitely.
bigger? Is that a thing? There we go. Okay. So you. I'm gonna select you. So here are these like, do you know what these grid lines are called, Kathryn? I'm sure
What
they
do
have
you
a
mean? Like,
1, 2, 3, 4, -3, -2. I think they have a name. I'm gonna call them
ooh,
grid
probably.
lines.
Yeah. I'm sure they have a real line or a real name, but
A
I
real-
also just think of them as as grid lines because it's just where it's those start values, right?
Mm,
Or end values, I guess, depending on what you're using them for.
mhm.
Grid
So
values?
because here we have call one, and this is based
Yeah.
on names, which I think Napalm was saying. I love it when we give them names. I don't necessarily love it. Here you can see we are giving, let's see, ABC, yeah. Uh, so grid column, that's not even, where are the names? Like, where are we actually attaching these buds? Because this is just saying, oh, it's naming
Yeah, it's saying
both this name and this name? Or no?
that's telling how much space to take up. So it's saying, like, go from the start of column 1 to the start of column 2, because with the grid gap, like, there's a start and an end value for each, like, and so it'll
Mm.
move the beginning and ending values of how much space you're telling that grid box that we've, assigned the A class to take
So
up.
this seems like, whoops, this seems like where the power is coming from. So what is the point of this ungodliness?
That's defining the structure of the grid. So it's saying, like, 100 pixels starting here, 100 pixels starting here, 100 pixels. So that when we reference those later and we say, like, col1 start, it's going, yeah, that's in that template that we set up as part of the wrapper.
Okay, so this is actually where the name assignment is taking place, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
you could change col1 start to, like, whatever you wanted. Like, you could name it Alyssa, I think.
Let's
Watch me
do
be
it.
super wrong. Let's find out. I'm pretty sure
Okay.
you could call it whatever you wanted, and then if you updated,
Let's
it's
go.
probably used all over the place.
Is it? Let's see. Alyssa.
Yeah. So, yeah, there it went.
Alyssa.
Ooh, I'm so glad I wasn't
What?
talking out of my ass. I said it with confidence, and the minute it left my mouth, I was like,
You're like,
"Does it though?"
please God, let this be right. Okay, so here in grid template columns, we're using these square brackets to assign names to these places. And then we're also outside of that giving what is default widths of your column, right? And then we break out of that because you can see C and D are both that default 100 pixels width. But we break out of that width with A, and we do that by saying, hey, A, you need to span from Alyssa to col3. And so you're going to be bigger than you expect. Whereas B is just, I guess this is the
Well,
ending. What is
we're
this?
not actually that, like, default 100 that you were talking about, we're not actually setting the width of any of the elements right now, we're just setting the width of the columns,
Right.
and the
But
rest of it is
they're,
kind of
I was going to say,
filling.
are they like with 100% or something or just naturally? Let's see.
I think just naturally nested grid elements will take up
Full
the
full
amount of
space.
space given. So, yeah.
What are you? Let's see. I'm looking at D. So it says grid column. So this is the part that I'm a little confused on.
Mhm.
The ones that we're not giving, call start 1 to call start 3. We just have call start.
Right, we're saying just take up that column, like, just that guy.
Oh, this is the start.
Yeah. Right, and it's just
Okay. Okay.
we did it because we didn't say, like, "And keep going." It's just gonna
Mm,
hang out in that one. Are you
mm.
okay? I feel like you
Ah,
need maybe a hug or, like, a glass of something strong.
it's okay, but like so grid dash column,
Yeah,
it wants I'm going to say a
starting
spanation
value.
because it's both like where I start, but maybe also where I end,
Yeah.
right? Right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So grid column wants a span, whereas like where I'm spanning, whereas grid template columns can define names and also how large the columns are. Same
Yeah,
thing
so
with rows.
think of it like, grid template columns is like drawing the lines or maybe, like, making the puzzle, right? And then later, you're telling the puzzle pieces where to go. You're saying, like, "Oh, you start up in that corner, and, like, you go down here, and you go up there, and I want you to stretch all the way over here, or I just want you to go there and stay."
Can
So
we can we do all of it in one? Is there like if I wanted to tell this first, I guess not really, right? Because A is residing in the same space as C and D. So you have to
right.
do it below as well.
That's the trick, because again, unlike Flex, that to me, that's the part again where I was like, that's where it gets so complicated, because you have to think, fourth dimensionally, Marty. You can't just think in one direction anymore. You have to be also thinking about the rows and the columns that are coming next.
Okay, did you see the chat? I'm gonna do it. I'm not afraid. I'll
You
do
going to
it.
Firefox?
Yeah, I'll bring up
Wow.
Firefox. This is me doing it very slowly. Come on, man. My computer sometimes when I use Finder is like, you want me to do what? And I'm like, it's 2 + 2. Come on. Let's go. Okay, and I'm gonna plop this here just in case anybody wants to play along with it. And then I'm gonna pull up Firefox. It's so weird, like looking at a browser that's
You don't use.
yeah. I'm like
Like anytime I open it, and I only ever really open it to do like cross browser testing. I always think of like that bit from Titanic where she's like, it's been 84 years.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm zoomed in on that. I'm gonna zoom in on this font because I hear chat saying that these are exceptional. So let's see. Let's check out grid. Okay, so I clicked on this little gritty bit. It looks very similar to Chrome so far. That's my grid container. What's being said in chat? Hang on. Let me see.
Look at the right under grid, there's a toggle.
The right under grid, there's a toggle. There's a lot of things that say grid here, man. Oh God.
I need you to narrow this
This?
down for us.
Is this toggle? Oh yeah. Click to toggle the CSS Grid Highlighter. No, I don't
far
think
right
that's
of dev tools.
Far right of dev tools toggle.
Oh, grid. Yeah, I see it now in the like grid drop down section.
I don't see.
So like display the numbers. Oh, open it back up.
Oh, display line numbers, display area names. Wait, are there area names? Do we not have, wait. Do we not
that's
have
the
area?
like column 1, I believe, in like Alyssa. So I think if you.
Yeah, shouldn't they be there? Where the flip are they? I feel like Alyssa should be on the screen.
I guess those were a line.
We'll extend lines indefinitely. Yes, please. Maybe it was down here. Hang on, let me make my dev tools bigger. Maybe it was like, no, it's not. It's not happening.
Maybe we didn't have area names.
Okay, hang on. Let's find out.
I'm bad with the terminology.
Grid area names. I need CSS. Is that grid template areas?
In Kevin's chat, it's up, down, down, left, right, PA select
No, yeah, see 1, 2, 3. They're like printing right there. Is it because of my purple? Hang on. My Rebecca purple. Maybe if I make it no color at all and make you.
I love this story of Rebecca Purple. It's like sweet and heartbreaking.
Yeah, it still gets me. Like it's not. I followed along. There were a lot of blogs. It was rough, Bob.
Yeah.
Border 2 pixels, solid black. But I use it all the time because I would want my child remembered.
Yeah, right? Same. Anyway, in the
I
chat, if you'll leave a comment, says, so it's Flexbox kind of layout on 1 axis and grid on 2 axes. Yes. Yes.
Grid area.
I'm trying to come up with anything to add to that, but I think yes. There's also a little bit more grid by nature of like having a full grid built in can offer you a little bit more structure. So, but whereas Flex allows things to more naturally flow to fit the space, grid can be a little bit more prescriptive. But in general, yes.
This is the part that I loathe when they start using the template areas like this, and it's like you throw in a period. Oh yeah, sure, of course, the period. Like, is that? I'm wondering if we need a template area like this for it to show up in Firefox. Also, do you know how to read these? Because like they kind of make me.
Yes, I do know how to read them. I haven't used them very much, but in fact, they actually are read just kind of the way that they look. So actually, if you swap back over to that example tab, so you've got those like 3A across the top. So basically, if you look at this grid, you can imagine it 3 columns, 3 rows. Across the top, exactly where the like 1 section is now, A takes up all 3 columns
Is this
across the top.
instead of doing like the start stop thing that we were just
I
witnessing?
believe so.
You wouldn't use them together, right? Because what would be the point of that? Like,
I
this
don't
is
think so. I have
okay.
not used them together. I have not personally
Okay.
used template areas,
I
but I
want to
think
do it. Let me plop this in here,
let's just see what
and
happens.
then
Yeah.
do I get rid of both rows and columns? Do you think? I think because I think
Yeah, I
this
would.
defines both. And then oh gosh, painful. Hang on, I can't remember what it looked like before. What did it look like? Undo. Okay, so we need A, 2, and then CD below. Let's try just getting those working. So I would say A is 2, and then although we need to give them these names, right? Like how does it know who this is? D, oh gosh, I'm gonna mess this up. D, and
Yeah.
then it
So
was
you gotta
was
bail
it
us or no,
B,
napalm. Napalm, you were the one that loved
D,
template areas and naming. You get the reciprocal
D.
here.
Is this it? Someone
We're
tell me
on
if
the
I did it
struggle
right.
bus.
Is it? Did I do it? Okay, absolutely nothing is happening, first
No.
of all. So I need so I need to give it nice. Is this like a mini code pin where I can see all the codes? No? Nobody? Nobody knows? No.
What do you
Okay.
mean? Oh,
Well, I thought
no,
maybe
I don't
there's
think
like an
so.
see the code. Okay, no, there's not.
No,
Uh
it'd be nice.
syntax. Okay. So
So we got some recommendations in the chat, which is nice.
yeah.
So,
So you need to change the names below. That's what I was wondering is like, where do I change the names? But maybe you're saying I can say like Alyssa. Oh, wait, no, because they don't have those names anymore. I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. This is us defining the names and defining the layout. And then down here, this is us using the names.
mm,
And do I also have to do the defining layout bit? Wait. Questioning.
try
A
removing
and
the ending,
C.
right? Like if you just,
Did I do it? You want me to get rid of
uh,
this? What do you want me to get rid of? You want me to just
remove
say
the like
start?
slash D. Yeah, I
And
wonder
just
if you
that?
just define like where.
And then why are there so many
Hmm.
row bits? Oh, because the B is the tall row bit. Okay.
Yeah.
I want you to be as tall as you can be. So from A to I didn't define row names. I'm hungry. How do I define row names? Call 3 start would have been oh, someone help me. D? C. Wait.
Yeah.
D?
B.
B? We are going to
Oh.
get this. Wait. This is B and B is here and we need B to be over at the end. Where did B go? Oh god, I've broken everything. Start at C? Why is this not working? Hang on. And who are you? Maybe just say A. Was B really tall before? Do you remember, Kathryn?
I don't remember.
Oh, you know what's funny? I'm like working in Firefox. That's funny. Well, let's go back to our Chrome. Check out before. Okay, so I'm gonna like, I love you all. Don't hate. So that's my blog. Ooh. Wait, what? Napalm, you didn't actually. That's in my blog. Can you link to it? I would appreciate it. Thank you. A, C, for those of you who are like, what is she doing? I am making a very, very exact representation of this grid so I can remember it always. So that you understand what's going on here. Okay, so now let's paste in our butchery. Paste in. And let's see if we can figure this out because I'd like to understand like the differences between template areas and just defining it the way we were before. I don't really know if that has a name.
I was feeling
Okay.
really good until we moved to areas, and I was like, ah.
You're like, why, God, why? I'm going to take us back to Rebecca Purple because that was just to see if we could get those names printing. And let's go to, so A, I think A is working. I think B is pretty darn grumpy at us. B needs to be a column on the side. So if I go back to our example, which I'm going to, I think I don't need you anymore, Firefox. So I'm just going to leave you in the background.
I like this accent that happened for you.
Okay, grid, template areas, none, keyword value, string values, global values. Interesting. So we're using the string values. That kind of makes sense. And here with these, what are people saying? Not using Safari? Oh, is that your blog? Perfect. Thank you. Okay. I want to figure this out, Kathryn. I don't want to be a numpty. Okay. So I need B to be on this side. He's our sidebar. So
Yes.
I would think that I could tell him you need to start at C, and that's where you would start. And then the row thing, I would tell you to be as tall as everybody, which is, I don't have no idea what you're named.
Can you scroll back up to where you defined the template? Because I feel like, didn't we have A's all the way across the top? Oh no.
No, A was across too. Yeah. And then here's my perfect rendering. And then CD were below the long A, and then B went all the way down. Oh, you know what? I don't actually know what these periods mean. I just put them in as placeholders for nothing, and that could be really jacking with us. So if anybody knows what period means, now's the time to say.
Let's just put like F's there, or something that we're not using.
Okay. F.
Okay, that didn't seem to change anything.
Did it? Did it not? Nothing changed? Ooh, look, D's down here. Okay.
Push D over. I don't.
Hang on. We can do this.
Period. We are gonna figure this out.
Grid CSS period. Is that gonna give me anything? I could pull up your complete guide. Let's and then find period on the page. That's gonna go well. Yes, I am searching for the symbol period. No,
you were right though. Periods are nothing. I looked it up.
So yay! Excellent.
If you jump back, it's in the. If you look at the MDN docs, right? So
the MDN docs. Whoops. Old coming.
It should be like empty space. Yeah. So click on that example. Yep.
Click oh my God, these are clickable. I never freaking knew. I just thought it was like giving us little examples, but I didn't know you could.
No. I mean, yes, but no.
Oh God, why? Okay. So A, okay, yeah, and then C is over there. This totally makes sense. We should be seeing it. Is this an image, or can I inspect it? It's an actual grid. Shut up. Okay, here we go.
Thank God.
We can do this.
Honestly.
Let's see. 1, 2, grid U. So they're giving this grid template area, and then A has grid area A. I think that's it.
So
I think
we were using the grid column, and that's why it wasn't working, right? Because we were still using the columns and the rows when we should have been defining with grid area.
Grid area!
Because we're numpties.
Our numpties. Flippin' A. Okay, here's what we're going to do. I really want the old stuff. Kathryn, could you help me find the old stuff? Because I want to paste in the old ABCD. But right now, I'm going to fix this, and then we'll get the old stuff back in so that I can comment it out. So grid area is what it was. And you are grid area A?
Yeah.
That'll work. Oh my God, it worked! I think. Hang on, let me try.
I think so too.
Hang on, let me try. I keep scrolling like a mad woman. Quickly. Grid area B?
Oh, I'm so mad at us from 5 minutes ago.
I'm not. I love me. You can keep doing dumb things, Alyssa. I will always love you. Yes, that's what we all should say to ourselves. D? Are you D? Is this actually how it's supposed to? Oh my God, it worked. Oh my God, it worked. Woo!
Yeah.
Do you see this?
And
okay.
I do.
Okay,
sorry. I'm keeping one eye on the chat. Dev Jalen Massey jumped in, said I believe the dot was an example saying I don't want anyone to take up space here. You are correct. You're right.
Is that, did we use it wrongly then? Is that?
I don't think so.
Oh, well, I think our example had C and D going all the way down to the bottom of B. Is that our gap here that we're worried about?
Added another. In your grid template area, you've got 3 rows defined. And in the grid example 7 that we started with, there were only 2 rows.
Oh no, were there?
Yeah.
Why am I so goofy?
There you go. Now we've exactly recreated grid by example number 7.
So this is so much fun, you all. You're using it just fine. Okay, so I'm wondering.
We made it.
Hang on. Hang on. If we undo, we go back, we bring back our dots. Let's say I want B to be 3 tall, like actually 3 tall.
Okay.
Why is the third one not as long as the other 2? Who's defining that?
Well,
Why
I think
are they
what's happening here is that there's nothing taking up that space. Like I think because there's nothing pushing it down. So we can see B extend, and if there was something in that third column, it would match the height of it. But we put nothing. So it's just, does that make sense?
Why are these this height? Nothing here is giving it any height. Like who is why are you this tall?
Probably it has to be.
Is it just the font size?
I think it's just the font size and the padding.
Okay, let's get rid of it.
Because there's 20 pixels of padding, which is a lot.
This is me getting rid of it.
Yeah. See, they're wee now.
They're wee. Okay, I want to do a min height because who doesn't use min height on the daily of 100 pixels. And then B should see. I really why
where are you? Well, no. Because where are you defining it? You defined the 100 pixels in the box.
Oh,
right?
On box.
It is meeting 100 pixels of height. So yes, that's the worst thing about computers. They always do what we tell them.
I mean, do they always? The uprising is coming, Kathryn. Just saying.
I for one welcome our robot overlord.
Right? Me too. I will be very complacent. Complacent? Is that the right word? Okay.
Complacent is just like fine with it. Like,
yeah.
I'm good.
I'll work with you, overlord robot guy. Okay. How do we?
You're trying to create a third row that is the same height as the others. So I think
should I say grid column row?
Our templates.
Wait, what?
No. I think up at the top where we're defining our template areas, we could say like grid template row and set a min height.
Can I just say 100 pixels here? Is that possible? No, it hates me. Grid template row. What am I doing? Rows? I think it's rows. Rows. Plural. Something happened, but it's not good.
No, because we just defined one. So it's looking for like, remember, because when we did when we were setting up the columns and it was like 100 pixels, 100 pixels, 100 pixels.
Right. And I want 3. And I want 3 of them. Oh my gosh. Wait, or I could say repeat. Hold on.
Yes,
hang on.
I believe. You
hang on. I have no idea the syntax. I'm just making it up. Is that it?
Yeah, it's not quite right. I don't remember it off the top of my head, but there is a way to.
I'm just going to do this real quick to prove that this is going to actually work. And then we can look into it. Wow, it worked. Oh, it's so powerful.
Oh man, the chat. Something happened when it's not good. I dropped what I was doing and rushed to the screen. Thank you for doubling back to see us struggle.
Hold on. You said, what did you say? We closed to Facebook. Where's the grid auto rows?
Grid auto rows.
Grid auto rows. This doesn't feel right. I know it's not right. Well, shut up. That did not work.
So try grid auto rows and set it to auto. And so replace grid template. No, sorry. Grid auto rows is the thing. And then, where you were at 100, try auto.
Did it work?
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes I look and I'm like, is that 100 pixels? Because that looks chunky. Okay. So
yeah, 100 pixels is more than you think.
Can we throw this here, or is that going to break everything? Because it has to be on box.
That's going to be in the wrapper. So yeah.
Okay. So
it's not breaking, but yeah.
Oh, I don't want that one.
She beat.
And then let's go white for contrast.
Nice.
Oh my gosh, Kathryn, this has been so much fun. I feel really I know we're coming up on time, and I feel really sad because I feel like We just scratched the gritty surface, but like also I have never before, no matter how many grid talks, grid blogs I've gone to, like been won over, and you did it today, Kathryn. Like I'm so
Oh,
excited about this, and it makes sense. Like I don't know why. I think it's because people always tried to explain this way first, the template areas. And whenever Rachel Andrews, let's bring up her thing again. When she did the very first example she did, it wasn't with the template areas. It was with, if I show the CSS, boop, 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 boop. It was using template columns and just simply saying 100, 100, 100. So like once I grasped that and then moved on to template areas, it made a lot more sense. It like really, really did. I needed to see this one first. And so I'm super excited.
agreed. Sorry, there's chat happening about Rebecca Purple.
Oh,
Which is
I
sweet.
want to take part. I want to see chat. What are they saying?
So somebody asked Rebecca Purple, is that a real color? And I went ahead and shared the link from CSS Tricks that briefly explains and the TLDR. Rebecca Purple was the favorite color of Eric Meyer's late daughter who passed away. And so in the CSS Force spec, they added that with the name Rebecca Purple in her memory. So she gets to live on forever in the code that we write, which I think is just amazing, just really sweet.
I'll never forget the it was close. It was like a long ending to her life. And they saw it coming for a while. And so they didn't know if they were going to make it to her birthday. So when it got close, they celebrated it every single night for a while. So it gets me. I love it. But no, I do. I try to use Rebecca Purple whenever I can. And it so happens it's also my son's favorite color. He loves the purple so much. And it kind of ruffles feathers on my family side because they're very like manly men. And I'm just like, you love purple. You'd go do you, son. Like
honestly.
Come on, people. Come on. It's 2022. My son can like purple.
Absolutely.
But yeah. That was a really cool one. I really liked this. We need to do a drawing.
That's great. I need to pull that back up.
Let me share it one more time, just in case there's any last minute. I just pasted in the chat padding 20 pixels. It's not it. Let's see.
And just heads up, there's currently 11 entries, so your odds are pretty good since we're going to do 2 drawings, one for the grid poster and one for the flex poster. So slide on in there if you haven't yet.
Yes. Is this your link or mine? Yes, perfect. Okay, it is your link because there are multiple options. So yes, chat. There's the link. We'll say 60 more seconds to get your email in. And I saw that you gave the option of either. So if we give away 2 grids, I think that's fine. Right? Like if both winners chose grid.
Yeah, I think that's okay. I just wanted to make sure people got whatever would be most useful to them in their day-to-day.
Cool. So. Perfect. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to share my screen unless you have a better idea, and you'll tell us the numbers, like the total number, and we will say pick random number. Actually, we should do it with JavaScript. What is it? Is it just math.random and then you give it a parameter?
Yeah, yes. You have to like round though, or it'll give you like a crazy number. So like
wait, can we say just get random int? Can we do that? No?
Probably, maybe.
And they'll give us 0, 1, or 2, and we just make it 0 based? No? Are we all satisfied with Alyssa's way of randoming?
Whatever you want to do. I'm flexible.
All right, this is the test one, so nobody get excited, but I need to test it. Dang it. Do I have to put it in a console log? Nope.
They're in a
oh, they made a method. I'm such a dummy. They made a method called get. I didn't even see that. I just saw this and I was like, oh, it's a thing in JavaScript now.
I love that we got a first time chat from someone just to be like, add the function.
Add the function. Thank you, first time chatter. And also, I really thought, I was super excited. I was like, is this built into JavaScript? It is not. There we go. Let's do it again. Yeah, we're getting numbers. Perfect. Okay.
Numbers. All right. We currently have 16 entries. So are we cutting it off?
All right, we're cutting it off, and
right.
That's pretty darn big. I'm gonna go down a little bit, and we're gonna see
roll.
chat. I'm gonna pull chat up so we can. That's the form that you lovelies need to fill out. All right, drum roll. I'm putting in 16. Is everyone ready? 14. All right, who's the lucky winner? Last minute entry person. Sorry to all you early entry persons, but we have one more draw. Ooh,
I don't want to give your last name over over stream if you don't want it shared. But the email begins with Rami.lastname.
Perfect. So. Let us know if you're still in the chat, and then I'm going to do it one more time because we get 2 winners.
Yeah.
Number 1. I kind of like that. It's like the first person who filled out the form. Who was it?
Email is Renke. So
I'm still here. Hey, congrats. Nice. We will get in touch so I can get your address and get
whether you're here or not, we'll send emails. So
and then I think that's our wrappy wrap. I hope you liked me thinking that get random int was a real JavaScript thing, making an absolute fool of myself. That's what I'm here for.
The 2 of us together taking a full 20 minutes to figure out that if we used grid area in the definition, we needed to use grid area below.
Oh, I liked it though. I really do feel convinced now of like, oh, I can use this. So it's a little less scary. So that was nice.
I hope everyone else enjoyed it too.
Listen, and also if we could all just vote for get random int to be just built in, I wouldn't be mad. That's all I'm saying. All right, we can.
It seems fair.
Oh, thanks guys. Well, cool. Right. Any other wrap up? Oh, the 14th, next Monday.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I forgot.
We are doing like a 4-hour long, I think it's 4 hours. Is it 4?
It is.
It is 4-hour long Valentine's celebration of We Love Accessibility. So we have 4 speakers.
4 great speakers. We've got people talking about accessible forms. We've got people talking about accessible SVGs. We've got people talking about inclusive language and thinking about how you present just like the copy and the way you write things in an accessible way. Like we're seriously covering all the bases, and the speakers are so smart, so talented. Like it's gonna be so fun.
I'm super excited. That'll be for next Monday. And then Napalm's asking, is JavaScript Girl in a .NET world still going? It is. Sorry, I had the flow vid. So, me and just getting back into the swing of things, we'll be on for tomorrow. So it'll be good stuff. I think that's all the things. So thanks. Yeah, it was rough. Some people were like, aren't you glad you just got them both over with at the same time? I don't know. It was sweet death. So time to get a pull request up for Core.js polyfilled browser support for get random int. Yeah. Oh, okay, seriously though, people, we need one based random number method. That's all I'm asking for. I was just saying. I guess
that would seem crazy.
Oh, thank you everyone. This was so fun.
We'll see you next week, y'all.